All right, now we're gone for, I hope, an interesting 20 minutes. My name is Mark. I'm one of the founders of Sympl. We're based in Belgium. And basically what is it that we do? We focus on finding qualified candidates for our customers with software developed through targeted advertising on social media. On the four main channels you see here, I'll share lots of data on what we've learned, on what we've done on that. Maybe just one more slide about us. So the only thing we do is recruitment marketing. We've now run about 7,000 recruitment campaigns. The number are a bit outdated. And we have a team of data analysts and marketeers here to optimize campaigns for our customers. We have some kind of blue chip customers, some global enterprise customers, but the biggest chunk are SMEs who don't have any recruitment marketing experience, and therefore they use our software to do so. So that's a bit of the shameless plug of self-promotion. Let's get that out of the way, and let's dive into the data that we have. Now, first of all, 2 minutes just to get everybody on the same page why I think it should be vital for you to look at social media as a channel for your recruitment. The biggest problem we see in recruitment, and I'm hoping that's also been a bit of the theme of the previous presentations, which unfortunately, so my lack of Hungarian was difficult for me to track, is what we call the first mile problem. It's making sure candidates apply, they see your vacancy, and they apply, and they get into your system. Because once you have good candidates in your system, everything which comes after that, the pre-screening, the screening, the negotiation is actually pretty easy. I'm just going to put this bit. I hope you can see my full screen, because otherwise I'm not sure if I can get these boxes away. No, it seems to be a bit more difficult. Let's continue with what we have here. Now, because of it being so complicated to reach candidates, most companies tend to focus on what we call the passive candidates, because that's, the active job seekers. The active job seekers, because you can reach those through the channels, Monster, Indeed, Stepstone. But it's only 30% of the market. The biggest and most interesting chunk of candidates are actually the passive candidates. But it's quite difficult to reach those. Now, what you should know is that they're actually on social media every moment of the day. And just to kind of support them with a bit of data, I'm sure all of you are on social media, but important to know is that many, many other people are too. And again, I'm just going to try and minimize it here. I want to make sure you can see the data. It doesn't seem to work here. Apologies for that. I can't get these screens out of the way. But so 4 billion have video views on Facebook every day, 1 billion on TikTok. But more importantly, the demographics are also very interesting because, of course, well, we all know that there's older people on Facebook. Also, 70% are older than 25, but actually 52% of the people of TikTok today are also older than 29. So it's not just kids and young people on there. You can reach a broader audience through that. And the daily usage is massive. 160 meters per day are scrolled on Facebook. It's about 38 minutes per day on Facebook, 45 minutes per day on TikTok. That's on a micro level, on a daily user level. If you look at the potential of these channels, and I'm just taking some data here from Belgium, but I'm assuming it'll be similar in Hungary. If you're on the #1 online job board in Belgium, on a good day, you're able to reach 120,000 people. On television, biggest television chain in Belgium, on a good day, is able to reach 1.5 million people. Social media, on a very good day, on a normal day, actually I would say, is able to reach 6.5 million people. So the amount of people you can reach on a day is a lot bigger. On top of that, what's interesting is that if you then spend 2,000 euros in media, what does that get you on a job board? It allows you to reach 104,000 candidates, but of which only 15,000 are actually passive and not actively looking for a job. Television, to 70,000 people you can reach for 2,000 euros. A lot more passive candidates, of course, because everybody's watching television. That's already an advantage of spending your money on television. But if you would spend it on social media for that same amount of money, 2,000 euros, you can reach 250,000, of which 200,000 are passive candidates. So passive candidates not actively looking, there's one solution for them: use social media to get them. And maybe just to prove it with one final study, we ran with one of our customers, we ran an online recruitment campaign on Facebook and Instagram. 64% of them were coming through the social media. 19% were a bit in between. They were on their website. It wasn't clear whether they were coming through the newspaper or not. 6% were coming through one of the number one online job board, and also with a print advertising linked to that. And the second one, only 11%, came through all the other job platforms. So just again, showing the power of reaching those passive candidates. But unfortunately, what do we see? The recruiters are still more focusing on LinkedIn as a channel than Facebook and other social media. Now, just to explain, because I think you're also looking, okay, you want to go into social media, otherwise you wouldn't be in this breakout room. But what do you need to look after, and how do you basically optimize your campaigns and making sure you get the best bang for your euro? I want to focus on one particular element, which is conversion. What do we mean by that? And I think it's going to be easy if you look at the funnel, starting with attracting people, getting them onto your vacancy, then making sure they apply, and finally you hire them. Every step, from showing the visual, showing the campaign to the vacancy, you will always lose people. Not everybody will click on the advertising. Not everybody's coming on the vacancy will actually apply. That's what we call a conversion rate. Just putting a number on there. Well, how do you calculate that? It's easy. For your website, it will be the number of applications divided by the amount of visitors times 100. Let's put that. So if you have 50 applications on your website, 1,250 people have actually seen your visited your vacancy. That means you have a conversion rate of 4%, which is extremely good, by the way, I might add. But once you understand the principle of actually, then you can easily track that data, because you know how many people have seen your ad, you know how many applied, so you can just divide one by the other. And actually, once you start calculating that number, you can do some interesting comparison. This is typical for what we see with our campaigns, is that, yes, let's start at the bottom. You will have a lot of visitors from Indeed, but you will only have a few of them actually applying. So you have a very low conversion rate. While you can have lots of visitors from Facebook and Instagram, more applications, and then your conversion rates will increase. I'm using some numbers from 2 years ago when conversion rates were a lot higher, but that's when we did some comparisons across channels. Now, it's all good. So we established you want to be on social media. You now know kind of what to look for and what to measure if you want to improve your presence there. Now, these are some benchmarks today, right? Meaning conversion on Facebook, meaning the number of people seeing your advertising and clicking, coming to your website, will be between 0.3 and 2%. And on the website, it will be between 0.5 and 3%. That's what we see across the 6,000 campaigns that we've now run. These are average numbers. These are a good indication for you to keep in mind once you start assessing your own campaigns. Good, you can do that now, but of course, you're here to understand how you can improve your conversion rates on social media. I'll start with the very easy stuff first, right? Get your basics right. What does that mean? Make sure you use real pictures of real people of your company, right? That's one thing, very, very important. Make it uniform. Make sure you use the same colors, the same pictures, both in the advertising and also onto your vacancy page. Make it clear on the visuals you put onto Facebook that you're looking for people. So that could be putting a banner on there saying wanted and the name of the function. Again, using your branding also as clear as possible. You don't want to trick people into clicking on your ad. That's what still a lot of companies do, right? That's not what you want. You want to make sure that the people who click on your ad, they're attracted because it's a nice ad, because it's a nice video, but you want to make sure that they know what they're clicking on. Otherwise, you're going to be spending money on clicks that you don't need. Now, that's kind of more very basic stuff, and again, I'm hoping that's what most people will do. But that also means, of course, what you should use is use stock images, very general comments like "we work hard, play hard." People will not click on standard stuff anymore. You should never forget you're into channels where you're mixed between messages from their friends, from their family, which is also not using stock images. So you want to come across as an authentic company by using images and also language that people use every day. So that's kind of the basics of setting up your presentation. And then keep an open mind. There's a massive amount of data on Facebook and on ways to basically select and target your audience. You can go very, very, very detailed. Say, look, I want people with interest in marketing who have also some digital experience between the age of 22 and 28, only in the location where I'm currently having an office. And our advantage with the problem, what we've seen with most companies who do that, is that they are narrow casting. They are really trying to hope with as little money as possible and with the most concrete targeting and the most narrow targeting, they hope that they will find the right candidate. That's not how you approach social media. You should go a lot broader, right? And actually let the Facebook algorithm or the TikTok algorithm do their thing, because if you have set up your funnel correctly, if you're giving the right feedback, and that's what we mean by aided by data, you need to make sure that Facebook knows when people are applying onto your website. So you need to install that and make sure that that feedback is given to Facebook. But once you can do that, you can narrow, you can go a lot broader and make sure that you are reaching the right people and actually showing to the most interesting candidates. That also means you have to test a lot. And with testing, we mean we do a lot of A/B testing where we test campaigns versus another. You can test copy, you can test visuals, you can test job titles, you can test your call to action. It's always important to only test one element at a time. So for instance, in this case, you can see we've tested the visual. Now, once you do that, and once you set up a testing pattern, you can start testing, okay, you understand which visual is working better, then you will test function title, and then you will test call to action. And that leads you to the best working advertising after you've done that round of testing. I'm just going to show some practical examples here of testing. We won't have time, because I only have 5 minutes left, to make this more interactive, so I'll just show you the results. But I think just in your mind, try and look at these pictures. This is a picture where we're looking for a sales consultant. Picture on the right, people having a mask on and a mobile phone. These are the results. So the picture on the left outperformed by far the picture on the right, while apart from that, everything else was staying the same. Here, same thing, picture of a team on the right-hand side, picture of an industry installation, because they sell these installations. And again, quite, you could expect the picture of the team working a lot better, although the cost per application is actually quite similar. Here we've tested the title, so the same visual, but different title. And again, very, very clear difference, very clear preference for the title on the right. This is the example I gave earlier, but this is an interesting one, because you would think the picture on the right would outperform because you're showing people in an interesting setting. It's completely the other way around, right? So many more applications on the very boring picture on the left instead of the picture on the right, and therefore it was also a lot cheaper. So therefore it's important to keep on testing the whole time to make sure that, because your gut feel will always be wrong, right? That's one of the learnings we've had. So it's always important to always test and make sure you have the audience decide what works better for you. Because again, here you would think that the nice gentleman on the left would outperform the boring picture on the right, completely the other way around, right? So the picture on that company on the right was scoring a lot better. And this is just to show that not only should this be restricted by testing one visual versus another, but you can actually also play with a video. Here's a test where we actually switched the images and the text around for the same campaign, with the campaign on the right performing a lot better. We have no clue why, we just know the campaign on the right was performing a lot better. And again, you can use that also for TikTok versus Facebook, for instance, where we've noticed that, again, for some campaigns, TikTok might work a lot better. Now, also very important is that, and maybe some of you have seen that, Facebook has changed their rules. They've now basically changed the rules of the game on targeting for what is called employment ads, which also means that, and that's the last message I give here, is that it's very important to start collecting your own data on advertising as quickly as possible, because on the 7th of December, Facebook changed the rules. And if you weren't ready for that, if you didn't have your own set of data on how to target people, you've lost all that data and all that access now, which is very important to install. I'm just going to click here to the tools you offer that. Install tools, free tools like Google Analytics, like Google Tag Manager, to start capturing the data as quickly as possible. Even if you're only thinking about recruiting on Facebook and on social media, 3 months from now, start putting these free tools in place to make sure that you are collecting the data you need and you want for this, for optimizing your own campaigns. Good. And finally, don't be too shabby. Yes, you can run campaigns very, very cheaply on Facebook and TikTok, €1 a day, €5 a day, but then you won't be testing enough. So for also think about the budget you will need to test. I think I'm running out of time, which unfortunately means I won't be able to share the last example. I just want to share one more thing with you, is that if you're interested in diving deeper into this matter, we have a very interesting academy, where we collect all the white papers we have written, helping you set up your recruitment campaigns on Facebook and Instagram. It's 100% totally free. Just go to gosympl.com, where you'll be able to find all of this data. You can register for our academy, again, completely free. Go there, register. You can look at our webinars. You can download our white papers. And everything I've been talking about here will help you set that up onto your own website. Okay, that was it. I think I was told I have 20 minutes. I have just barely 1 minute left. I'm just going to check if there's some questions in the chat that we would on the breakout room will go down in 54 seconds. So it's a good thing I stopped there. I hope this was interesting for you. I'm just going to go and put my data on the screen finally. So if you're interested in coming onto our website, is gosympl.com, where you can find all the free media that I've talked about. So I hope this was interesting for you. I've enjoyed the rest of the day, the rest of the presentations, and hope you had some great results with your campaign on Facebook, Instagram. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.